Hi everyone, Kelly Nyberg here with another What's Up Sioux Falls. Today I am at Shalom Ethiopian Restaurant and we are talking to Kimberly LaPlante to hear how she is making a difference in our community. Hi Kimberly.
Hi.
So we have been talking about this for a while. You have been very busy planning 3 different immersion projects across our community over the last year under the title Loving Our Neighborhood.
Right.
And I am so excited to learn more about this because you are truly making a difference in our area. Explain to everyone first, before we get into it, what is an immersion?
It's about being immersed in a different environment than you're used to, or in a different context, or in a different cultural group.
So kind of getting out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
To meet new people that you maybe wouldn't interact with on a daily basis.
Absolutely. That's the goal. And a lot of times those are our neighbors, right?
Right, which is why you called it Loving Our Neighborhood, which is fantastic. And we have a great neighborhood here in Sioux Falls. We have a wonderful community that is continuing to become more and more diverse.
Very diverse. And a lot of times we just are afraid to go in that ethnic grocery store or just somewhere that just looks a little strange or different.
Yeah.
But when we open ourselves up to do those kind of things, we just get so much from it. And we learn new people. We learn about new people and we build new relationships.
Which is what I've gotten out of even just this afternoon because I've never done anything like this. So this is the 3rd part of your immersion project, Loving Our Neighborhood. Why did you want to do this?
Well, I did immersion projects in Los Angeles when I lived there, and also in Bangkok, Thailand, around the issue of human trafficking. And so I had never done it in my home city in Sioux Falls. I was born and raised here, lived in different parts of the world, but come home now. And I just wanted people to engage in deeper levels.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're in separate places. As far as like, this is what my area and this is your area kind of thing. But just to open those doors and conversations with people from different places.
Yeah, and all 3 of them have been very successful for you. Let's start with the first one because each one has been unique. So your very first immersion, briefly tell me about that one.
That was a city walk, a downtown city walk, and so we started from more the high end of downtown by the Falls Park, and we walked all the way to Bishop Dudley, Nikki's Cafe, if you know where that is. This was a group of justice-impacted youth, and what was so interesting, I learned so much from these, is a lot of these kids were lower income or just didn't have the same advantages as some kids. But a lot of them had never been to a coffee shop and ordered a latte before.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So just to experience that. And then also we stopped at different mission, like the Mission, Bishop Dudley, different places like that. And what I didn't know was one of the girls on the immersion was actually experiencing some homelessness in her family, and she was able to get resources.
Oh, wow.
So that was pretty exciting
to
see that happen. But I loved just like we had this big table of teenagers that from all diverse groups in our city, and just to have them experience like our city in that way was pretty incredible.
That is amazing to starting the conversation with people at a young age and getting them to open up to new things at a young age.
Exactly.
Yes. And so what about number 2? What was that one like?
Number 2 was a church group. And we were invited into the Native American community here in Sioux Falls. We went to a Native American owned business, and she shared what it's like to be an Indigenous leader in our community and to own a business. And then also we got to look at her products that were very cultural driven. And of course shop.
Yeah, that's important too. Yes, shop.
And then we went to Urban Indian Health, where they hosted us, And we were able to buy everyone that was in groups that night Indian tacos. And we got to share a meal together and hear about their outreach programs that they're doing and just their passion for their community. And then we got to make new friends, which is always awesome.
Yeah.
And then we went to the Falls Park, and I had one of my friends who's from Rosebud. She shared her story, and we ended with that as the moon came out. It was just beautiful that night.
Oh,
so
I bet that was powerful.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, so those are two very different concepts.
Very different.
I mean, equally, people can get so much out of them.
Yeah.
And then here we are today, like I mentioned, we're at Shalom Ethiopian Restaurant on
Yeah.
10th. And I have really enjoyed this experience. I haven't been here all day, but tell us what you've been up to this morning and afternoon.
Yeah, so this morning we met with a Liberian leader, and this is also a church group. And then he shared his story about immigrating here to the U.S. and also his heart for not only his Liberian community, but all the African community in Sioux Falls. And so he's creating an African community center that is just incredible. And then we were able to walk our neighborhoods and really see through the lens of love and through God. What does our neighborhood look like? Mm-hmm. Actually, the church that's here is actually positioned in this neighborhood, the Whittier, Terry Redland neighborhood. And it's also where I work, so I'm very passionate about this neighborhood. And so we were able to say, hey, let's get out of the church mm-hmm. and walk in our community and our neighborhood. And then we went to an Ethiopian grocery store. And we had an Ethiopian chef show us around the different products. And then we came here to Shalom. And we had a community conversation. We had a couple leaders, one from Sioux Falls Thrive and one from South Dakota Voices for Peace. And just sharing all together our passion to see how we can love our neighborhood a little bit.
Well, and we're actually going to talk to two of those individuals.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to hear from them. So let's go do that. Now we are with Erin Nozel, and she is with Sioux Falls Thrive. And Erin, it's great to have you here today. Is this the first time you've been to something like this?
Yes, it is.
So the first time you've been to an immersion. And why did you want to be a part of this today?
So I had met with Kimberly. We had went out for lunch, and she had asked me to come and tell my story about being a part of neighborhoods and just the relationships that I've built in my own neighborhood, which is the Riverside neighborhood here in Sioux Falls. And she had just talked about how that was going to be the topic of conversation, and I thought that'd be an interesting thing to hear also other people's perspectives on them building relationships and what it looks like in other neighborhoods aaround Sioux Falls as well.
So what was your experience like today? What did you get out of this?
Well, I feel really, it was nice to be around people that spoke the same language. A lot of the things that we talked about, right away we were able to connect on, I know exactly what you're talking about, I know exactly that experience, and even moved me to tears. It's just neat to be able to just talk with other people that have that same passion and that are trying in their own neighborhoods to build those relationships.
Right, absolutely. Now we are speaking with Pastor Dave Abels of Christ Our Hope Church here in Sioux Falls. Dave, it's so nice to meet you.
Pleasure's mine.
So how did you hear about this immersion today?
So Kimberly is a member of the church that I'm a pastor at, and she was not when we started the church, and I met her originally in her role at the Multicultural Center downtown. And she's somebody that you're like, hey, you are plugged in to this side of Sioux Falls that I don't know, and that a lot of my peers do not know. And so we just stayed in touch, and then she eventually became part of our community, and then this opportunity came up And so I was like, yes, I would like to be a part of that.
Just a way to get out and do something different, meet new people.
Yes.
You were very active in the conversation out there, and I was only a small part of it, but learned a lot. What have you gotten out of this experience today?
Yeah, so today we've been meeting with some leaders of different movements around Sioux Falls, and I think Sioux Falls, this is a great place. My wife and I have lived all over the U.S., and we decided to move back to Sioux Falls because it's the big time. But there's this part of Sioux Falls that's amazing, particularly committed like around our immigrant community that many people in Sioux Falls overlook on purpose or on accident. And so today I was like, man, I love the international community. I've lived in a lot of diverse places, and Sioux Falls has diversity. And I haven't had the access that I would like to have to that community. And so Kimberly's been this kind of go-between. And so today I was like, hey, you're going to introduce us to these leaders. And so we've been at the African Community Center, meeting with some of the leaders there. So I'm leaving today with a couple phone numbers in my phone, some future appointments on the calendars to see movers and shakers that are bringing renewal and good things to Sioux Falls.
Well, it's been fantastic to learn more. I know I, for one, have never done anything like this either. And just like I mentioned, just sitting out there for a few minutes and hearing different perspectives and people from all around our communities. Too. And Sioux Falls is certainly becoming more diverse.
It is. And so, it's just been, so I think oftentimes those of us who have resources or power, it's incumbent on us to make space for others to sit at the table. And so today has really been about listening, like you're talking about, sitting at this table, listening to people, hearing stories of what's going on, hearing stories of where relationships are being built. And that's probably the biggest thing today is just knowing names. And I tend to not think about this because I know a lot of the right names to know, but to be introduced to people that don't have those kinds of resources or are relationally poor, it's been awesome.
So what would you say to somebody watching who has never done anything like this either, wants to learn more about our communities and the diversity here in Sioux Falls, but maybe they're intimidated? Because it can be intimidating to try something totally new, meet totally new people. What would you say to them, and why should they attend something like this?
It is intimidating to meet people and be in relationship with people who are not like you.
Absolutely, I agree.
And if somebody wanted to do this, there is nothing that makes it not intimidating. It's just one of those moments where you ask yourself the question, what kind of purpose, what kind of person do I want to be? And time is short, so why not today? Why not engage these areas today? And so it is one of those moments where you're like, hey, it's scary, but you know what? It's going to be scary next year. It's going to be scary in 10 years. And so there's some like really incredible things happening now, and fortune favors the bold, if you will. It is a moment to say like, hey, there's opportunities to bridge these gaps. And this is a way that somebody can actually, it's still intimidating, but it's actually somebody kind of holding your hand while you're doing this. And I think there's no better way to get involved.
I agree with you. Well, thank you so much, Pastor, for sharing your experience with us today. We appreciate it.
It's the best. All right.
Wow, Kimberly, they had an incredible experience here today. I really loved hearing what they had to say.
Yeah, I'm just excited. Like, it makes my heart happy. This is my wheelhouse. I love bringing people together from different cultures, different parts of the city, different ways of thinking. And so that's just a happy place for me.
Well, you're obviously very good at it, and I hope this continues to grow. Are you still planning on doing more immersions like this?
Well, the 3 pilot projects were funded by a Bush Foundation grant through a group I was part of. And so I'm not sure, we'll see, but you can actually, if you have any questions, you can go to justiceasmission.org. and you can actually contact me through that website. If your group is interested, we could see what we could come up with.
Yeah.
But, I would love to do more and more. It's just like I said, a really shining place to bring people together for me.
Yeah.
And build new friendships, build new relationships, and new ways of working together and supporting our community of Sioux Falls.
Well, you've done a wonderful job of it. I know there's no stopping you. You're still going to work to bring people together. And thank you for having us be a part of this today, because I enjoyed just listening in on conversation between the diverse attendees that were here and kind of chiming in too. And I learned a lot. So thank you.
You're welcome.
And again, what was that website if people wanted to reach out?
justiceasmission.org.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, Kimberly, and thank you guys for watching this special edition of What's Up Sioux Falls. We'll see you next time.